Welcome into another edition of The Session with Londa and David. My name is David Austin.
I'm Londa Sherwood Austin. Welcome back.
I got to tell you, I'm super excited to be back. We took a week off because we were on vacation in beautiful Hawaii, which was spectacular. But now we're back, and I'm thrilled to be back because now we can get back into our regular daily routine.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, there's something to be said for having a regular daily routine. And we'll talk about that and a whole lot more in this edition of The Session with Londa and David. This is a business podcast that focuses on the three things that we are most interested in. What are those, Londa?
Well, we end up really focusing in on retail sales, restaurants, and of course, our bread and butter, real estate.
That's exactly right. And the reason we're so interested in all of those things is because we have a consulting business and we help consult restaurants and other business people. We both grew up in restaurants.
Yeah, it's in my blood.
Yeah. And we are both in the real estate business. We're both licensed realtors. You're a managing broker.
Hey.
I'm just a regular real estate agent or realtor.
My flunky.
Right. That's exactly right. And I've been a licensed mortgage loan officer for the last 21 years.
Yeah. The smartest lender I know.
Well, I appreciate that. But now we're back from vacation, and I read an interesting article this morning about vacations.
Oh.
And I kind of want to talk about that here on the program. The new study that was just released in this article talks about what is the best part of the vacation. And after reading this article, I kind of think it's true.
Oh.
So here's the information that is of very interesting.
Okay, do tell.
The zenith of a vacation, the highest point in a vacation is exactly 48 hours in.
Interesting.
Yes. And the article talks about how the beginning of the trip and the travel is part of the magic of the vacation, though. It is part of the magic. I see you do thumbs down.
Yeah.
Here's the
travel
difference.
is a little hard on me.
Well, the travel is hard on you, but the travel going is full of anticipation and excitement. And if you recall our trip, we just went to Oahu and spent time in Waikiki and Honolulu and on the North Shore and did all the things and all the stuff and went to all the places.
Yeah.
The trip there, way more fun than the trip home. And that plays into this survey about vacations that I just read about today. So 48 hours into the trip, they say is the best, the highest point in the vacation. And I think it's because, and they posit this, it's not my original thought, you're out of your regular routine. So you've, what did they say? You've unhabituated. So you're not doing your regular habits. Your life has been kind of turned upside down. And it's in an idyllic way. So picture this. You get up early in the morning and isn't that beautiful? You get up early in the morning to go fly across the country, right? We didn't get up early in the morning.
Nah.
We left late in the day, right? So the 0 hour on our trip was at about 11 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
On the day we left.
All right.
So that was kind of fun. We had no stress in packing because we had all morning to do it. We went to the airport in Pasco, Washington, got on the plane. Lovely. No trouble at all. Walked right through security, TSA, right through, no problem. One curveball, there is an x-ray machine at Pasco that you don't need to take anything out of your bags. And for some weird reason, that was closed. So we had to do the take all the stuff out of your bags, which
boring,
minor stress, not a big deal. Then we get on the plane, we fly to Seattle.
Yep.
And no trouble there at all. And then we had a little bit of a layover where we sat in the food court there by the gate with all of the employees of the airport. I mean, what the heck was that?
I don't know.
Just hanging out where guests should be, where travelers should be, all the people that did wheelchair assistance.
Yeah, I don't care that they were there.
But, right. But it was kind of a weird deal, and we talked about it, and that added to the unhabituation.
Okay.
Because it was outrageous that a business would have its employees breaking in the regular area for customers.
Okay.
So that happened. Then we got on the plane, and the flight was about 6 hours going to Hawaii. That you did not love.
No.
You didn't. I thought it was pretty exciting, though, and ordered a lot of liquor on the plane. We didn't drink it all. I only drank one shot of the liquor that we bought, and you drank none of the liquor that we bought until we got to the hotel.
Yeah.
So then we get to our timeshare in Oahu, and it is surprisingly beautiful. I expected it to not be as good as it was.
Okay.
But it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And all of the people we encountered were lovely, and it was fun. That is the first 12 hours of our vacation in a nutshell. And so far, really interesting, really good. We wake up the next day, and by 11 o'clock that day, we have done a ton of stuff. Now we're fully 24 hours into the trip. Well, the very next day, we started doing fun stuff. Like we woke up and did a sunrise swim, and we then went and did a day's worth of walking.
To be clear, a sunrise swim in the ocean.
That's exactly right, in Waikiki, on Waikiki Beach, right?
Yeah.
That was, in fact, the zenith of our trip. 48 hours into our trip, exactly 48 hours into our trip, was the highlight top of our vacation to me. So this study that I just read about says it's all downhill from there. However, ours was not all downhill, because each day we did something radically different. And they say, this is interesting, that when you're on vacation, you do need to change the setting every day to keep the excitement at a fever pitch, which we did. And I thought that was great. We tried all the food. We tried all the places. It was really,
we had
really
one
fun.
day in particular that was like a focused foodie day, where we did like all the food on the island that people recommended. So that was really fun.
Right.
If you follow us on social media at all, you can see the photos. They were some of the food. The one restaurant, we went and got travel tattoos on Thursday, was it?
Yes.
And that was the food. Go to the Castro's.
I'm just scrolling through all the food things we did on our trip. Castro's was the last day, so that'll be on. That's it.
That's it right there. And I'm telling you what. The day before in the afternoon, Thursday afternoon, we went and got our travel tattoos. Because go back to Waffle and Berry. So we went to this restaurant called Waffle and Berry. You guys, this was so good. It's a Belgian waffle topped with fruit. Who cares? Ice cream, and homemade whipped cream. It was so good.
And powdered sugar. Let's not leave that out.
While we were there, we saw a flyer for a tattoo artist that had some pretty cute little stamp tattoos on it. And so I looked her up on Instagram, and that was a really, this is the sales portion, retail sales. Listen up. I loved how she mixed old school and new school.
That's right.
You'll remember flyers that have little tags at the bottom, right? With like a phone number typically.
Absolutely. Babysitters post them on the community mailboxes.
And you tear off the little tag, and now you've got the phone number or whatever. So she had the same style of flyer, but the little tear-offs were her Instagram handle.
Awesome. Smart.
Old school and new school.
Yeah. Really, really smart.
So I looked her up on Instagram. We liked what we saw. So we scheduled tattoos for the next day because we get travel tattoos, which was super fun. We got plumerias. There's mine.
There's yours.
If you're watching on YouTube.
And here's mine.
Yeah. So that was awesome. But while we were getting our tattoos done, David's artist, two different artists do it, which also we've never done before on our travel tattoos.
I can tell you that.
And they came out, they're the same, but so different at the same time. And I loved the way that it came out. So then your tattoo artist referred us to this restaurant, but her directions to the restaurant were a little convoluted. And I was like, we're never going to find this. Well, we stumbled. Watch this video.
I mean, that's a professional.
Come on.
That's professional grade.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's on an old iPhone. But yeah, that was beautiful. Go back to the photo. She said, you got to go to this restaurant, Castro's. She was like, you like avocado toast? You got to go see it. You guys, that's the avocado toast.
Unbelievably
Shut your mouth.
good.
You got the Cuban. We got some beans on the side and a watermelon and beet salad. We couldn't eat. I don't think we even ate half the food. There was so much food there. Cuban coffee. I mean, it was spectacular.
Really, really, really nice.
That day, we also went to Seven Brothers. It's a burger place up on the North Shore that was recommended to us. And excuse me, I'm having some
Matsumoto
allergies.
Shave Ice. Here's the Seven Brothers burgers. Really, really yummy stuff.
Yeah.
All part of the restaurant review nobody asked for.
Yeah, those are the fries that they do. Go to the next Seven Brothers. Cool. And then Matsumoto Shave Ice. We finally got some shave ice. And if you follow us on social media, you can see this is just what it looks like inside. But
the system. You're having some cough variants asthma today, and
yeah,
it's
I'm
okay.
having an allergy thing. So the next video shows you kind of their process. They scoop the ice cream in here. They top it with the shave ice there. You got to watch this on YouTube, by the way, so you can see all this. But they put the flavoring on it, and then, wait for it, they top it with sweetened condensed milk.
And really, really fun.
Yeah. And the next video is our flavor that we got. You picked out a couple flavors. And so we did like some of the traditional stuff.
Sure.
You also saw we had a picture there of musubi, which is a rice and spam little roll that they do.
Right.
So that day we did all the food on the planet. You know, it's kind of sad because we end up throwing so much of it away.
Yeah, we do. We're not big eaters, but we were there trying to hit it hard.
Yeah. And so that was super fun. But yeah, so I loved it every day. It's interesting that you talk about routine because and let's get to, I want to kind of bring this around to how you can relate that to your own life, and you can get out of that if you like.
Sure.
But relating it to your own life, the reason that you have routine, and someone called it, I usually call it my morning routine or my morning schedule. I heard it called recently morning evolution.
Okay.
Ooh, and I liked that. It's like how you evolve into your day, and I kind of liked that too. But the reason that you have kind of a routine for your day is to keep you focused on the things that have to happen. Right? So routine is important because when life pulls the rug out from under you, which it does, things happen that throw you for a loop.
Sure.
And I'll be the first to admit, routine has saved me so many times. And then sometimes the rug is pulled so hard out from under you, you just curl up in bed all day. And that's just a given fact for me personally.
Sure.
Yesterday. Anyway, so, which is why this episode didn't get filmed yesterday, because frankly, I was having a depressive episode yesterday. So, and that just happens.
Well, and for anyone who watches our podcast or listens to our podcast, who says things like, well, that's easy for you guys to say because you guys, have a charmed life. We're just like everybody else.
Human. Everyone's human.
And we have challenges and things that go wrong.
Yeah.
Here's an example of something that went wrong.
Okay. But I don't want to forget to get back to routine.
Well, right. While we were on our trip, I took a phone call from a referral source, and I was out of my element because I was on a tour bus in Hawaii looking at stuff. Took the phone call anyway, which I probably shouldn't have, but I did because I always answer the phone. And what I did was had a lovely conversation with a potential client and then made an appointment to meet with them. Well, because I was out of my routine and not taking notes, but doing it with my cell phone, I scheduled my appointment for noon on Tuesday. Well, the meeting was supposed to be noon on Monday, and I knew it because I was talking to the customer and trying to confirm it correctly in my phone and thought I had. Well, you don't need to confirm it in your phone if you've got a system and you write stuff down and all that. Well, I didn't. I put it in my phone, and yesterday I disappointed an entire family who took their lunch hour off to come meet with me. And I, Monday morning, looked at my phone, saw that I didn't have anything pressing other than a hair appointment and a dentist's appointment. So I didn't even think anything of it.
Right.
And then when I found out that I missed it because I was doing my other stuff, I felt horrible. Well, I don't know if I'll ever get those customers back, but the moral of the story is if you don't stick to your normal routines in life, they can't save you. So in that case, I made a big mistake because I did not work out of my system.
So let's talk a little bit about what you could have done differently that would have helped keep you kind of there. And I think you mentioned it, maybe not take the call.
Right. If you're on vacation, have a message that says I'm on vacation.
Well, or let them leave a voicemail, because you were actively on a trolley tour,
right,
and took the call, which I don't understand at all, because you're gonna make a mistake, right? So I probably would have, just for me, would have let it go to voicemail. We did have some stops, and then when it stopped, I would go step aside, return the phone call,
right,
do the thing, and maybe that could have avoided it, because we did work some while we were on vacation. Real estate is, the nature of real estate is you work when the work works.
Right.
And so we did do some work, and in fact, the first morning we did 3 hours of work before we even got out of the room. But I'll tell you what, it's not a bad gig sitting on the balcony looking at Waikiki doing your work. You know, I wasn't mad about it. But back to routine. The routine, it's interesting though, you say we were out of our routine. Yes and no, because we got up every morning, we had our coffee together like we always do, but it was in a different setting, right? We had it on the balcony,
sure,
watching the sunrise,
yes,
instead of on our couch talking about our day,
right,
and what was ahead. So, and then every afternoon we came back and took like a little downtime, which also is typically my routine in our normal life. And then, you know, we're back in the evening to have our downtime, you know, our kind of our bedtime routine. So there was some routine there, but those in between times were crazy. And yes, I apologize. I'm having a cough variance asthma.
I'm turning down your mic every time you cough,
Okay,
so you don't need to
thank you.
apologize.
So anyway, I felt like, listen, this vacation is the first vacation we've taken in a year.
Right.
Which, if you know us, since we've been married, we've done nothing but travel.
Right.
Right. So for us to stay put for a year was really unusual. And it was to celebrate our 5th wedding anniversary.
Which I want to say, and I don't mean to be mushy, and I apologize. The last 5 years of my life have been some of the most pleasant, sweet, loving times of my life. And the fact that you and I have zero animosity toward one another or bickering, we don't do that.
No.
And that's different for me.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it's wonderful and refreshing. And I couldn't have imagined a nicer life. So thank you for the last 5 years. And
Thank
I
you.
hope to keep making,
Yeah.
holding up my end of the bargain so we can do this until, at least until you die, which could be imminent. We don't know.
Could be any day. It's really, the clock's ticking. You know what I'm saying? I have to agree. The last 5 years have been wonderful, amazing. I saw a post the other day on Facebook, and this is not unusual.
Mm-hmm.
And it was these people's anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And the wife posted, "Sometimes I want to kill you. I want to strangle you, but you're my best friend and I love you. And we've been through so much shit together, but we persevere and we're la 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 la." Could not relate at all. Not even a little. And I think that the people who love really love hearing when we talk about this, and you know, haters gonna hate, right? So I know it's kind of divisive, which is interesting.
It's divisive to talk about how happy you are.
Yes.
That's weird, right?
So I Gary Vaynerchuk, I saw a clip of one of his talks recently, and he said, if you're happy, talk about it.
Right.
Because why not promote that good. People who get a lot of media attention they're getting it because they complain and they find everything wrong with. So it's like it's easy to be a downer, and
misery loves company.
Exactly. But we choose to share our happiness because maybe it'll inspire some. Maybe it just puts a smile on your face. Maybe it gives you hope.
Sure.
And we actually had someone recently who said to us, watching you guys kind of made me wait till I had that kind of relationship. And this is somebody who, now has that kind of relationship, but waited and waited and waited.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And she was saying, like, it was just incredible watching you guys and thinking this was something that was possible, because we don't bicker. We don't fight. What we do, so just to be transparent, is we do get triggered from time to time, but like you'll say or do something that triggers my old stuff.
Sure.
And then I've got to work through it, and vice versa, but it's never volatile. You know what I mean? What are you laughing about?
I'm just laughing about the kind of conversations that some people have that are just outrageous. You know what I mean? Yelling at one another and not liking one another. It just sounds so ridiculous.
Right? Now, I think it's important that you say the word now, because it didn't always sound ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
and here's the thing. And I'm not knocking any other relationship I've ever had. There have been wonderful things in all of the relationships that I've ever had, and there have been some bad things.
Yeah.
But at this point in my life right now, what a treat to wake up every single morning and have a sales meeting with my business partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's awesome fun to be in this experience together.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
That's great. Okay.
So that was just kind of the point that I wanted to make about routine versus not routine and everything. And also, I just want to say this. I felt like David took me to fat camp for a week. On our vacation.
Because we walked and exercised like crazy.
We walked an average of about 8 miles a day.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. We had a rental car and we did use it.
Yeah.
But not much.
Yeah.
We didn't use it much. And thank the Lord the rental car was only $31 a day because parking it was $44 a day. So it's like we had a $75 a day rental car. Essentially. And that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And often rental cars are in the $70, $80 range. So It all worked out great. People on Hawaii are not super interested, at least in Oahu, in driving. If you're on vacation, not a lot of driving is going on because
we don't really need to. We had the
distance.
Trolley that would take us in. We had the on-off. Get the week-long jump on, jump off trolley pass if you go to Waikiki, because it's just a great way to get around and see. You go on the tour. It takes a couple hours, and then you're kind of seeing what you want to go back to.
Right. That's
right.
Exactly
but you can get off and do the thing and then catch the next one or whatever, but we didn't do that. But it was a great time. I loved getting away, and true to form, we got away and got busy.
And that article that I read this morning about unhabituating was very, very interesting because it almost exactly paired up with our experience on this trip. They say the beginning trek is part of the fun. The ride home trek, miserable. And that was true. It was miserable coming home, and you needed a full day to recover, and you didn't get to take it because we jumped right into hanging out with our grandkids, and I had a 10 o'clock in the morning work appointment. So that's not the best part, but...
For me, though, 48 hours in wasn't the zenith of the trip.
Really? What was the zenith of the trip for you?
Hiking Diamond Head.
Okay, and that was near the end.
It was
the second to last day.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. That for me, but that was a bucket list item for me, so that was super important. Had a full-blown panic attack.
That's true.
I mean, I'm being pretty vulnerable on this episode, well, as I always am.
Yeah.
I got nothing to hide. But full-blown panic attack because I have some claustrophobia, and that was triggered because they don't tell you that you, about 2/3 of the way up the mountain, you have to go through a 225-foot tunnel.
Right.
And there's people in front and behind you. So
Right.
you don't have a lot of control over how quickly you go through it. If I could have just dashed through it, would have been way better. But yeah, I was doing okay. I went in, turned around, came back out. I said, I can't do it. And then I thought about all the times that I didn't do the thing.
Right.
And then I regretted it later.
Right.
And so I thought, nope, I'm going to do it. Okay, I have some coping mechanisms I use. They had little dim lights on the floor.
Sure.
So I thought, well, I'll just look down at the lights and I'll count. Counting's really helpful for me. So I just counted. I thought it's 225 feet. I know my stride is 2 to 3 feet. 100 steps and I'll be through it. If I can just get to 100, I'll be through it. And just head down, walk. I'm counting. You were trying to count with me. I was like, no. Shh. You don't understand. We're fighting for our life back here.
Dirty whore about David.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we're walking, and then the people in front of us stopped, and I don't know why they stopped, but that's what set me into a full panic attack.
Right.
But I made it out the other side. I was sobbing my eyes out, and
you did great.
Streaks in my.
Yeah.
In my, what do you call that stuff?
Sunscreen. Yeah.
But I recovered, finished the hike. It was exhilarating. The rest, like after that, I felt completely bulletproof because I did something really, really, really scary and difficult and something I didn't think I could do. So another thing I would tell you is to push through your fears, find coping mechanisms so that you can push through some things. If you can't push through and you've got to pull back, that's okay too. But things are really possible.
Right.
And then the tunnel coming down, way better.
Because you can see the light at the end of the tunnel for almost all of it. There's like a 3-foot bend in the tunnel at the end of it as you're going up. So you don't see light until you hit that turn. And versus coming down, you only see dark for about 3 feet. Then you hit the turn and can see the bottom.
So this is a good reason to keep your vision for your life in front of your eyes, because when you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, you're not as scared. You've got focus. You've got direction. So there you go.
That was golden. I mean, that was a major market transition. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
I just wish we went to commercial just now, because then we would have come back with a whole new thing to talk about. I mean, that was great.
Thanks.
And you did that when we had our terrestrial radio show all the time.
I did.
So you really are a talented broadcaster. I'm proud of you. Wow.
Thank you.
That's why you need to keep it in front of your eyes. Light at the end of the tunnel. Wow. I mean, inspirational. Let's rewind and listen to it. No, I'm not going to do that. But really good stuff,
Thank you.
Really, really good.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So, long
Let's
story
wrap it
short,
up.
because
Yeah.
we're coming up on the end of our show, the study that I read about vacations seemed really true. Do things to become unhabituated on your vacation, and you'll have a better time.
Okay.
They also said that if you do things daily to get out of each daily routine, then you'll have a better time. I don't recommend that for your regular life, because having a regular routine will keep you focused and in balance. So get up in the morning and make your bed. Get up in the morning and maybe go play disc golf at 6 a.m. Maybe. Who knows? We don't know what anybody's doing.
This guy.
Then go to work and work your, plan your work and work your plan.
Yep.
And I learned on my trip and afterwards to not only depend solely on my cell phone, which all of my people at Red Mountain Mortgage made fun of me at in the sales meeting today, because I do look at my phone all the time to keep on track. I need to take notes too. And BJ Morgan, who's in my office there, always takes notes and has a notebook and then transcribes that into his phone so he can't make the same mistake I made. And that's a good lesson. So don't be over-dependent on technology. Keep a good routine and do your best. And you know what? Learn to love your life, because if you love your life, everything's better.
There you go.
There you go. That's all I have.
That's some good
Anything else
stuff.
you want to add?
No, just a sincere apology for my asthma.
Well, and again, I turned down your mic almost every time you had one of those fits. And if you never said a thing, no one would have ever known that it happened.
Yeah.
I learned that long ago when we first started the show, to turn down your mic. I didn't turn it down now so people could tell what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. And you never know when it's going to hit.
That's
or
right.
what sets it off. So
happy 5-year anniversary, honey. What a nice time we had. And I'm thrilled to be back. And we have our new employee starting today who is not on camera. But Ada Harpster, we're thrilled to have you in the room. And you're doing great already.
Yeah. We're very excited about that.
For Londa, Joanne, Sherwood, Austin, the prettiest girl in the world, my name is David Austin, and this has been The Session with Londa and David. We'll see you again next week.